Hello everyone, how you doing? I hope you're all doing really well today. I'm Lindsay, your host of the Heavy Metal Journal and writer for Lambgoat and the Moshville Times, and I'm back with New Metal Monday, where I talk about my favourite new releases of the week, and this will be the very last New Metal Monday of the year, because the next few videos that I will be putting out will be counting down my top 40 albums of 2024. But today I have 3 brand new albums that I want to talk about, and I'm just going to jump straight in. Okay, so first up on my list I have Inverted Cross with Eternal Flames of Hell, and this is the debut album from the Spanish blackened thrash speed metal band. Now this is frantic thrash metal with really rasping, venomous, evil sounding vocals, and it takes a very old school approach. So you can expect a lot of attitude that comes with the 80s thrash metal scene. Think leather, studs, spikes, inverted crosses, goat head gods, pentagrams, the whole lot, satanic panic stuff with black metal thrown into the mix as well. So if you are a fan of your old school thrash metal with a bit of a blackened edge to it, which is incredibly fast and frantic, this one is definitely for you. Frantic, rapid, thrashy riffs, chaotic energy, screaming solos, thunderous drums, and this very venomous, rasping vocal style. The energy and power behind this record is really immense, and it's incredibly catchy to listen to as well. So if you are a fan of that blackened speed thrash metal sound, such as Hell Ripper, Wraith, Grave Ripper, or if you're a fan of Venom, you're definitely going to want to get onto this. But this is a really cool, energetic, fun, bouncy, incredibly evil sounding record to listen to. Definitely check it out. Okay, so next up on my list I have Wolvencrown with Celestial Lands, and this is the second studio album from the atmospheric melodic black metal band from the UK. Now this is richly atmospheric, densely layered, and it is an absolutely incredibly brutal record. It's also an absolute monster at about an hour long, and each track kind of verges on the 10-minute mark, but there is an intro and an interlude, both of which are just purely instrumental, that kind of breaks up that intensity. But this record is an absolute work of art. It does have a very dark, melancholic edge to it, but it certainly focuses on the sheer brutality of black metal. So you have the blast beats, you have the tremolo picking, you have that harsh, brutal vocal style that rasps and screams. And like I said, there's something very dark and ominous about this record, but there's a hidden beauty in there too. There's a bit of a piano element throughout as well, and it does focus on folk themes, and it certainly takes a lot of inspiration from the works of Tolkien, for example. So if you like your atmospheric, melodic black metal to kind of have that fantasy folk kind of style about it, but it's incredibly guitar driven and so ridiculously crushing, this one is definitely for you, especially if you are a fan of the likes of Winterfellith, Wolves in the Throne Room, Belore, Fen, that kind of sound. Definitely check this one out. Plus that album artwork is absolutely stunning as well. Okay, so last up on my list, but certainly by no means least, I have Dewfall with Landiscore, and this is the second studio album from the Italian atmospheric melodic black metal band. And they incorporate a lot of folk elements and medieval elements throughout their entire record as well. So you have piano, violin, cello, you've also got the lute, you've got traditional flute. You also have a lot of elements of traditional throat singing as well as all of the monastic chants and choirs, but it certainly does focus on the black metal side of things. So you do have that very harsh, heavy, strong element and foundation of black metal throughout this entire record. It's a very layered record, and there's something very bleak and cold and icy about it, but it is absolutely stunning. I completely fell in love with this record as soon as I started listening to it. So again, you have the blast beats, you have the tremolo picking, you've got that dense atmosphere, the rasping screams, but there's also different kinds of vocal styles throughout this as well. Like I mentioned earlier, you have the traditional throat singing, you've got the monastic chants, and you've got the odd clean moment throughout as well. But the thing that really stood out to me the most about this record, as well as all of that really cool instrumentation, is the harsh melodies. It's a very melodic record, but it falls on the heavier side of things. And there's just something very cold and enticing about the harsh melodies throughout this. And it really does hook you in, and you want to listen to this record more and more and more. So like I said, if you are a fan of the likes of Wraithfire, Winterfilleth, Sur, even like Fen, like the previous record, this one is definitely for you. But honestly, I love my atmospheric melodic black metal, especially when it has that kind of fantasy folklore element about it. This one has all of that, but a lot of medieval elements about it as well. Check it out. And that's it for this week's New Metal Monday. Once again, comment down below to let me know what you think of today's records. And if you have any of your own recommendations, please let me know and I will certainly get them added to my list. I know a lot of people have asked me why I don't include music into my videos. I am planning on getting a workaround for that. So hopefully, fingers crossed if it works, music will be appearing in my videos going forward. The next video I post will be the very first top 40 albums of 2024 video. Basically, I post 4 of these, breaking down my top 40 into 10 different albums per video, if that makes sense, counting up from 40 all the way to number 1. So the very first one will be posted either at the end of this week or the beginning of next week, depending on how things go. And then after I've done my top 40 albums of 2024, the last video of the year will be something I like to call the Bandits of 2024, which is basically the albums I've discovered that I absolutely fall in love with after I've posted my top 40. Because let's face it, we have that much music coming out on a regular basis. It is impossible to keep up with absolutely everything. So basically what I'm trying to say in a very elongated way is there's 5 new videos coming, none of which are New Metal Mondays. This is the last one of the year. The first 4 will be my top 40 albums of 2024, and then the last one will be the Bandits of 2024. But as always, thank you so much. I really appreciate your support as always, and I will see you very soon.